We're doing this because we want to help partners mature their operations and do it faster. We're going through the change of our industry. We've still got traditional models that we need to optimize, and we're starting to do a whole bunch of things new that aren't actually new in the wider context. And so the whole purpose of a lot of the framework behind the platform is to give partners a clear direction of where to head, have different ways of accessing different content resources that I've created based on all my experience working with larger partners, and it scales down to the small and starting partners. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel, and they can sort of fast track their maturity and operating practices. So they can focus more on their clients than getting stuck in the nitty gritty of things that are already done. Like, there's right ways to do these things. So what we've really done is around the platform, one of the biggest core things is what we call TPOS, our Tech Partner Operating System. This is a maturity benchmarking tool based on the 10 operating categories that I've signified. And you'll notice, as Brad showed on the screen, the categories have different names to what we're traditionally used to. You'll see that there's no just straight up sales and marketing, because what I've tried to do is get people to think about things differently in a modern way. We're having to do different things with our clients and operate things differently in our business. And so us breaking this down in the nomenclature that we're using allows us to think differently and set up modern practices. We've got deep assessments for the people that are joining the freemium product. We've given access to the free version of this, and it covers 200 questions across those different categories. It will ask you what you're actually doing on the maturity levels, so that you can clearly see what you're doing and then what good looks like and what's the next sort of maturity step. And then the beauty around this is, after this, it will spit out a whole bunch of different information for you to show you where you're at, be able to benchmark against the wider industry. And as we get more data, there'll be more visibility to benchmark yourself against specific countries and locations. And once we have these sort of assessments, then we can spit out sort of our action items to start to prioritize where we're going to work on and how, which then ties into the sort of next big value prop, which is our partner resource library. And so this is all the operating practices. I've built so far hundreds of resources that are in here across all of these areas, and we've got hundreds more to add. This is what you're able to get access to in terms of different resources that you can download, open up, see what sort of good practice looks like. And then rather than starting from a blank sheet of paper, you modify it in a way you go into your resources that you can use internally. And this is really like the core sort of framework, and we'll be building out some more framework on this. But then we've got everything else wrapped around it.
So we've just been clicking through the Tech Partner Operating System, TPOS, and so you've seen the benchmarking, you've seen the different exams. We kind of really quickly went through one of those assessments. This is not a come in and assess and look at a point in time. It's built in a way that you can gradually do those incremental steps to improve your operational efficiency right across your business. But it also uses a platform to delegate actions across your leadership team or inside your organization. So it's pretty powerful that way. But what we also do is, outside of TPOS and the resource libraries, that we then take a lot of that content and create different pathways and different learning content. And so in our Business and People Performance Hub, we translate a lot of your IP, James, out now into meaningful training where you or your leaders can go through and complete the courses, understand how to do things like strategic planning, what that looks like as a rhythm throughout the year, and download the relevant resources. So I won't go through that in a massive amount of detail, but building out a lot of that content as we speak. The other thing I would say is we spend time looking for the best of solutions in the market. And so to be able to bring those vendor solutions to our community and we pass 100% of the discount on to our members. But we also use those individuals and organizations to provide regular updates of what they're seeing in the market. And so this richness of content means that the Channel Guru platform isn't a place where we've built something and you can come. It's a content platform and richness that is updated weekly. And so we have a tremendous amount of new content coming all the time. And so we really, really want to create that live environment where people can tap into and continue to learn and teach themselves and their teams on how to build the most modern TSP organization going forward. A couple of things I'll just really touch on quickly. You know, everyone loves our infographic library. We're currently rebranding that and enabling our members to be able to take those infographics and use it in their own marketing. And then just simple things like conversations with our trusted network. And so a lot of amazing leaders, channel leaders, industry thought leaders are part of our trusted network. And so we create a lot of content with those individuals as well. So just getting started, James, but a lot more to come.
I think as everyone starts to see all the content that they can touch and feel, I know partners are struggling with focusing and prioritization. That's why we built that into the TPOS system. But as you'll see, as more and more content comes out, there'll be more structured ways to access and solve different problems. And we're trying to meet different partners at where they're at and their maturity journeys and their capabilities, so that there's different ways that people can really access information and quality information in a really accessible way, as opposed to just feeding more and more and more content. We're wrapping structures and pathways and the ability for you and your team to actually get focused and actually execute on something. That includes the offering that we've got around getting a guide as well, accessing a guide that they'll meet with you once a month to drive accountability. And so you can go from the free version to our standard to getting it guided, and there's something there for everyone to progress their business and get much better outcomes for themselves, their people and their clients.